Hey, what's up everyone? TJ here, and welcome to my review of the Burton Good Company in collaboration with Snowboard Magazine. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, real quick for your reference before I jump into the construction, I'm 5'10", I weigh around 155 pounds, and I tested the Good Company at size 155. Now, this is a freestyle focused board on the Burton lineup, and it's designed to be accessible, both with the feel of the board and with the price. This thing comes in at 450 bucks, and it has a pretty straightforward construction, pretty easy to understand construction. So let's get into it. This thing is gonna give you a true twin design, so it rides exactly the same in either direction, giving you that switch stance versatility that you want in the terrain park. And it runs just a true classic camber profile. So contact point to contact point, traditional camber, gonna give you that energetic, precise feel that you would expect out of that. This old school camber bend. Not a super aggressive camber, but definitely enough to give this board some nice energy and spring. You're also gonna get a triaxial fiberglass layup with this one. So that's 3 directions of fiberglass, both above and below the core. Just help get a little bit more out of the glass and make the board a little bit more energetic and responsive. As well as, of course, the channel system. So this is gonna give you unlimited stance width options and still compatible with every major binding out there, as well as a sintered base. So that's a higher end base material. It's dense, it's durable, and it's faster compared to an extruded base. So make sure you wax this thing regularly so it stays nice and fast and feeling good through the season. But that's it. Like I said, very straightforward construction, classic camber feel. Let's get into how this thing actually felt on the mountain. All right, let's jump into things talking about the flex and feel you're gonna get with the Burton Good Company. So I think Burton really nailed it with this one. They sought out to design an accessible and versatile park board, and I think they just nailed the flex on the head with the Good Company this year. If I had to place it, I would say it's just a tad on the softer side of medium. So it still offers good stability, but you can really control it well at the same time, especially with that full traditional camber profile. And I think when it comes to trying to get flex out of the snowboard, you know, particularly with butters and ground tricks, you'll be able to flex this board quite well. It gives up a good looking tail press, and the balance point is pretty easy to find. I think it's very comfortable swiveling around on the snow, hopping between the nose and the tail, just staying pressed out. Has a really good buttery feel to it. You still definitely are gonna notice that camber until you get to that balance point. You're gonna have to kind of be battling with that a little bit, but once you figure it out, I think you can really have a lot of fun with this thing. I think the tip shape is also kind of conducive to sliding around on the snow a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is full traditional camber, so it does have some precision to it, and you don't want to be getting too loose and sketchy out there, or it might get you. But overall, just a ton of fun for butters. And I think one of the big things I noticed out there, you know, buttering around the resort and the park, I was really having a good time feeling that out with this thing. It really delivers some good pop as well. I've described it as like a really springy kind of pop, and I think to the point where that's even going to be noticeable in the footage. So I hope that adds some value for you guys being able to see it. But yeah, I would say above average pop considering the flex on this guy. Okay, and when it comes to park laps, I think that's where the versatility in the Good Company really stands out. While flex wise, you know, maybe it's just a little bit on the more playful side of the spectrum, I think for 90% of us boarders out there, this thing is gonna work really well as just a true all-arounder. It's super comfortable on the jibs, has a nice maneuverable feel, pop for days getting onto features. I think it locks in good, it feels good sliding sideways. I was feeling pretty confident on this thing. I wasn't really feeling sketched out, getting used to it out there in the park at Copper. And you know, of course, it rides switch exactly the same, so that's a non-issue. And I think it jumped really well also. You know, I hang out more in the medium zone out at the park here in Colorado, and I think, you know, the range of jumps is kind of from like 15 to 30, 35 feet. I think that third jump is big enough to hit some 10s. Not me, but I've seen guys out there do it. I don't think I've seen anyone go bigger than that. So it's a decent sized jump, and the Good Company felt super comfortable through that whole range. I think you could even push it a little bit bigger than that, and you wouldn't find that this board feels washy or anything like that. So I'm just super pleased with how this thing performed in the park. It just was one of those boards that you can really get a hold of. You can maneuver it very well, but still has enough stability where I never felt like it was lacking once. You can press it, you can jump it, you can jib it. It's a really fun park board. Let's also talk about carving and exploring the resort on the Good Company. So at size 155, you're gonna get a 25.2 centimeter waist, which sits in that very versatile window, although maybe just a little bit on the narrower side of that window, but still very comfortable, versatile, gonna give you quick, nimble edge-to-edge transitions and just feel pretty natural underfoot. You're also gonna find a 7.8 meter side cut, which again, very average, very versatile, gonna feel good at a wide range of speeds, and I don't think gonna be particularly remarkable when you're out there riding this thing. I think it's just gonna feel natural. Let's be clear, this is a park board. So if you're out there, free riding, you're gonna be able to find the limits of this thing. And the snow we had on the day that I tested this, it was like a little bit slushy, like a little bit heavier snow, and I was surprised at how well the Good Company held up. I think even as I started to go a little bit faster, it hung on to carbs quite well. I was diving into some pretty aggressive turns. I was doing some like reverts, some like 360 swivel reverts and things like that, where I was just really going aggressive with the edge angles and throwing all my weight in, and it felt solid. And as I did push it to higher speeds, there was a little flutter happening in the tips of the board, especially like driving through carbs, going a little higher speed. You might be able to even see that a little bit slow-mo on some of the carbs we filmed. But I will say the whole day, there wasn't a moment where I felt like the board was like losing its edge or getting pushed around by the snow. For just like kind of general cruising around and exploring, I think it's gonna be comfortable. And I don't think you're gonna feel like the board is lacking too much in that department. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit of a more mellower cruiser, just considering the more playful flex you're gonna get out of this thing, but still capable. All right, guys, so overall, I think if you're on the market for just a classic cambered twin park board with a versatile feel, something that you can still really get a hold of and really maximize the use out of it, but hits such a fun sweet spot between playfulness and precision, the Good Company is one of the best out. I think this is just that classic cambered park twin done right. So if you're on the market for something like that, consider the Burton Good Company. I'm gonna have this thing linked down below the video so it's easy for you to find. It'll be right there along with a link to the latest issue of Snowboard Magazine, so please make sure to go check that out. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. And if you did get some value, drop a like before you leave. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another review. We'll see you guys next time.